Did you know if you have a reasonably modern iPhone, it can read NFC tags when you tap the top of your phone near them, and you can use that as a trigger for Apple shortcuts. That means you can control your smart home and trigger scenes and lights with very inexpensive NFC tags. Now this can be really handy if, say, you've replaced a lot of your lights with smart lights, wall fixtures, LED strips, etc., and can no longer rely on wall switches. Or if you don't want to shell out for those fancy new smart buttons to now control your smart lights. Or if you just have so many devices that finding the right one when you're looking on your phone is just really tedious, then instead of a $50 physical smart button, you can use a 5 or 10-cent NFC tag. Easy. Now you might be thinking, this sounds like a very complex and in-depth DIY tutorial, and it really isn't. It's trivial to set up, it's built into your phone, no third-party software needed. So let's get started. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MatterAlpha.com, home of all the Matter things that matter in the smart home thing. Let me start by showing you a few examples. In my secret bunker door, I just hold my phone up to this tag and it runs a shortcut. It takes a few seconds, which first checks the status of another door because this one will only open if the other one is closed first.
Secure the bunker before unlocking.
It gives some voice feedback to welcome me into the room, then it unlocks the door.
Welcome back, James.
And 30 seconds later, it re-engages the lock and reminds me to close that door.
Locking the door again. Don't forget to push it shut.
That sounds complicated, but it's really not. I also have a bunch of smart lights here in my office, but turning them on individually is really tedious. With this simple NFC tag by the door, I can toggle them on and off. I've got another tag by the bed, which I can just tap to turn off everything in the house at once. You could do something similar with, say, one by the door to put your home into a low energy mode or alarm your system. The possibilities with Apple shortcuts are pretty much endless once you start exploring the features. So today I'm going to give you a primer on how to set this up, the hardware needed, walking you through your first shortcut, and an example of a conditional if-else shortcut. So this is very much a beginner's tutorial, but you can take it as far and as complex as you want. So first up, hardware. I've used these incredibly cheap, tiny NTAG 215 discs, they're called. I got these years ago during lockdown when I had an Animal Crossing thing going on. And they're about $20 for 100 of them. They can be read from and written to, but they're just 512 bytes of data that you can use for various purposes. For our needs, though, you don't even need to write data to them. You can just read them into shortcuts as a trigger. I found mine had all unique IDs anyway, so there's no overlap between the tags so far that I've discovered anyway. But if you do find that one tag is triggering a different shortcut or they're the same tags, you can download a free app called NFC Tools. That'll tell you all the data that's on the disk, and you can overwrite it with a unique ID. You can actually buy a roll of stickers of these, which are probably more appropriate for a smart home. You can get them in white or black, but I'll be using what I have anyway, along with some sticky tape. Of course, you will also need a compatible iPhone, and while models from the iPhone 7 onwards are technically capable of reading NFC tags within specific apps, it's only the iPhone XR and XS onwards that supports background NFC reading, which is what you'll need to use it with shortcuts. After all, you don't want to be opening up a specific app. With this shortcut system, your phone doesn't even need to be unlocked. You just hover over the tag for a second or so. Other than that, any Matter smart home device you have in your Apple home system can be controlled through Apple shortcuts. Actually, it doesn't even need to be a Matter device. If it's in your HomeKit, you can use it. But this is Matter Alpha, and we talk about Matter stuff. So I'm just going to assume you have various smart home devices that you want to use this tutorial with. Let me walk you through the process here, and from there, the world is your large mollusk, as they say. So open up Shortcuts, head on over to the Automation tab and tap the plus button in the top right to create a new automation. And the first thing to do here is choose the trigger of, well, there's quite a lot of them, so easiest thing is just to search for NFC. Place the top of your phone close to the tag. It should read it immediately. Select Run Immediately and don't enable Notify when run. You want this to just do its thing and not have to interact with it in any way. You'll be prompted to save the name of your tag, then continue, save, and since we don't want a template, just choose the boring grey plus symbol with the text, New Blank Automation. Now you're into the Actions area where you can search for what you want it to do when the tag is scanned. So look for home from the list or just search again. Since this is a lighting automation, I think it's best to use the toggle device state rather than to command a device to turn on or off. That'll allow us to turn them all on or all off from the same tag. Otherwise, you would need at least two tags, one to turn them on and another one to turn them off. You could do that if you had, say, one on your desk and one by the door, but just to keep it simple, I'm using one tag. You'll see a wide array of do actions in here, but I just added all three lights that I have in here under matter control. And since it's a toggle, I don't want to add any complexity like speaking welcome to me. It wouldn't make sense if it was welcoming me as I left the room. So just one simple tag, toggle the lights on or off like a light switch would. Now going a bit more complex, for this secret bookshelf door locking system, I used a 12-volt electromagnetic lock with a large ferrous metal, I guess you'd call it a strike plate, I'm not really sure, and a 12-volt adapter that's plugged into a Matter smart plug. Nothing really complex about that. The only difficult bit is mounting it onto the door appropriately so it'll actually lock. HomeKit itself doesn't know that it's a lock, of course, it just knows that it's a smart plug, so all you get is an on-off state, but that's more than enough. Now, as an added security measure, I also have an Acquire P2 door and window sensor, which runs over Thread, and this is mounted on the initial door before this one. So taking a look at the statement here, you can see I have an if-else command structure added, and that the if part depends on the status of the other door sensor. So it says, get the status. If it's open, Siri will then prompt me to close that, and that's that, it finishes. And if it's closed, it'll turn off the smart plug lock. It'll welcome me using Siri speak prompt, and then it'll wait 30 seconds and relock it, prompting me to close the door again. You can drag and drop your shortcut components around here to place them within the switching statement. It's surprisingly simple. I could also add one to turn on another light within the bunker, though of course I might not want the light to turn off when the lock re-engages. I might still be in there after all, so I'll have to do that manually, unless I was to add another tag for when I'm leaving. Now obviously, since the lock itself is a Matter device within HomeKit, it's not designed to be fully secure. Anyone with access to my smart home could technically turn it on and off without needing to scan an NFC tag. I could get more technical and use like a custom Arduino or ESP32 lock system with a local API that's entirely separate from Matter. But for my purposes, that's really just not needed. It's a bit overkill. It's designed for convenience in the sense that it enforces the automatic relocking of the room, which I can often forget, as well as some level of operational security by ensuring the outer door is closed first. And frankly, it's quicker than trying to scroll through my list of smart home devices, find the lock, and then disable it. So some random quick tips. If you find the Siri voice that you're getting is wrong, for instance, I have my default Siri set as an Irish female voice, remember to change the country in the speak text option. Also, if you find it's too quiet, that's because Siri has a separate volume to the system volume, and it can't be set from anywhere in the usual settings, as far as I can tell. In order to set the Siri volume, you need to get Siri to say something, and then anything, while she's speaking, use the volume rocker to change the voice volume. This seems like a bug to me, but for now that's the only workaround I could find. Lastly, you can't automate a device based upon its own status. So initially I tried to set up a separate sort of special home automation that would turn on the smart plug electromagnetic lock system when it was turned off. So turn it off, 30 seconds later, it would automatically relock. But that didn't work because once you select the status of one device as the input, even with a delay, it can't then be the output of its own device automation. But oddly, you can control the same device twice in the same shortcut. So rather than making the special kind of home automation shortcut, which is saved to your home controller and can run for everyone, you can just create a regular shortcut like I've shown you that will run on your phone, which achieves the same thing but isn't quite as universal. So you might be tempted to hold your phone there until the action is completed. That's what I started doing initially. It kind of feels like it takes a few seconds at least and is pretty delayed. But after experimenting, I found it only actually took about less than a second of scanning, and then you can take the phone away and the action will be completed after a couple of seconds. I settled on holding it there for about a second, just in case things were being slow, but basically you need to learn to trust the scanning process because you don't have to keep your phone there Once it's scanned, the action is then being run in the background, but any delay is just from general smart home latency. It does take a couple of seconds to turn the lights on or off. Anyway, that's it from me. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit like and consider subscribing to Matter Alpha for more Matter smart home reviews, tutorials and explainers. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go stick up tags all over my house. Until next time.